Friday night in Tryon, North Carolina, and it's been another great day. And we had a nice rain late this afternoon to cool things down, as well as giving us the much needed water. Proverbs chapter 9, as we're entering the last section of the study that we're going to do right now for Proverbs, the instruction of righteousness for young people. And it's interesting, as I've been working through this, I have kind of paralleled with John Phillips as he wrote about Proverbs, just to see how closely I think to what he thinks. I would do my study and then I would go back and check John Phillips and see what he had to say. It's always amazing. And I don't do it ahead of time. I don't look to see what he has to say to influence what I have to say. And yet I remember very recently, as I was going through Proverbs, talking about the great wisdom of one book, the Bible, as the whole theme from chapter 1 through chapter 9 deals with wisdom. And the fact that the book contains so incredibly much that is applicable to all of us. You say, well, what do you mean? Why is that so important to you? Well, as we enter in chapter 9, we look at wisdom building with 7 pillars. Some have said the 7 pillars represent the inner court of the tabernacle. Well, why not? That's righteousness in the presence of God. Or the 7 pillars of the church: salvation, baptism, doctrine or discipleship, fellowship, breaking of bread or the Lord's Supper, prayer, and giving. Now, it's interesting because those are the 7 pillars of the church, and they're all taught clearly in the scriptures. Salvation, available to all who will. Baptism, the first step of obedience. Doctrine, the growth and maturity as a Christian. Fellowship, because we're to love one another. Breaking of bread, because it's the commandment that God gave to us besides baptism, to do it in remembrance of Him. Prayer, without which we could never achieve anything. And giving. Well, take and compare that, as John Phillips says in his chapter 9 of Proverbs, with a set of encyclopedias. Nobody buys any anymore. They go to the internet and look up any subject they want to. But suppose you bought a set just like John Phillips did. I remember when we were offered a set when Lois and I were first married to purchase 28 volumes, and then you had to guarantee to buy 1 volume each year for the next 5 years, and you'd get some super duper special sale. But how many pages out of those 28 volumes of books do you think you would use during the course of your entire education? Probably not very many. There's a lot of subjects in a set of encyclopedias that you'd never need, never be interested in, probably would never read, and some of which would be far over our heads, the formulas and the calculations for the speed of light and sound. And yet the Bible, touch it wherever you want to, is wisdom for all of us. One book, and yet no matter where you touch it, it has wisdom for the Christian in living in righteousness. Incredible, isn't it? Because I had made those statements about the Bible and how it was good for couples, it was good for children, it was good for anybody, whether it was a man, woman, or child. And the second thing that it struck me as I listened to the words of John Phillips as I read them off the page was compare it to the colleges of today. Why, you have to be brilliant to get admitted into Harvard or Yale, MIT, or some of the fine institutions of America today. Yet the Bible's invitation is made to all of us, no matter how simple we are, no matter what our grade point average is, and no matter what our IQ is. The Bible is an invitation for all of us to come and feast on its truth and on its wisdom on its path to righteousness and salvation. Yeah, that's really incredible, isn't it? Here we have this book which offers to us instructions in righteousness for every age, for every sex, for every person of every race, for every effect in every area of life. One book, not a page, is wasted upon anyone. And it's for the simple. God made us a book that we could understand. Many people went to hear D.L. Moody, who was not a fantastic preacher, but had such great wisdom. The Bible offers us great wisdom, even for the simple. And so we come to this chapter 9, verses 1 through 6, and we see those pillars. The pillars that represent holiness and righteousness, the inner court, if you will. The pillars that represent the church with salvation, baptism, doctrine, fellowship, breaking of bread, prayer, and giving. The book that has something for everyone, and everyone will use every page. Compare it to the encyclopedia, it's far richer with one book. Compare it to colleges of today, where you will get rejection notice after rejection notice, and you will find that the Bible invites us, even the simple-minded, anyone and everyone. It's incredible wisdom, wisdom and righteousness. No wonder the phrase continues, my son, listen to the wisdom and compare it with the wisdom of the world, and you'll see what a treasure it is. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.